Okay, I have a buy one, get one for you today. I have two five-star books that I want to quickly review together in one video because they have related content. So the first is The Women by Kristen Hanna. The second is On Isabella Street by Genevieve Graham. I have mentioned both of these in past videos, but because they're five-star, I wanted to give them their due and do a more in-depth review for you. So The Women is a fantastic story about the Vietnam War. It follows Frankie, a young nurse who decides to sign up to go and serve after her brother does. And so the first half of the book is really about her experiences in Vietnam, obviously just the challenges of serving and being in the war and being a nurse, but also her experiences as a woman and what that means and what she faces, the bonds that she makes with her fellow nurses. So it's really interesting and captivating. The second half of the book is about when they return, the reception that they get from a lot of the American public who disagree with the war, and also the lack of acknowledgement of service of the women who served. So really fascinating book. It, like Kristen Hanna's books often do, it sort of seems to go from bad to worse, but somehow it's always a compelling story and you want to keep going even if it's upsetting. On Isabella Street is actually also about the war, which is why I've included it here. It's about the Vietnam War and the impacts in Toronto. So it's based here locally. I always love to represent a Canadian author, but I also just believe it's such a great story no matter where you live. And it's about two women who live in the same apartment building on Isabella Street in Toronto and come from very different walks of life. Marion is a mental health professional working with people in Toronto. Some of them are vets who need help, and Sassy is a hippie protesting the war, very different perspective, and somehow they find common ground and end up forming a really beautiful bond. And it's set mostly in Toronto, but also in Vietnam. There are family ties, there are sort of mysteries to be solved, there's a lot at play. So really recommend this if you haven't read it, or if you liked The Women and want something else that's of a similar nature. So let me know if you check either of these out and what you think.